Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. You know the drill. We're retired New York City police detectives and 9/11 World Trade Center first responders. If you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon and this guy, my partner right here, Ed Wallace, when we go live or upload another video. Tonight, Karen Reed, day 18, the retrial. The prosecution's expert witness lies about his education. Now, I thought I saw everything up until this point, but this takes the cake. Ed, your thoughts before we get into it.
I've seen this happen a couple times in my career. I was watching all different coverage after today's live trial, and I was hearing all these different defense lawyers and all these other lawyers, and they're saying they've never seen this. They've never seen this. So I don't know. I've seen it at least twice in my career. Okay, where actual people were arrested and taken off the stand out of the presence of the jury, mind you. But I was shocked. And you know how I feel about this, folks. You know how I feel about my beloved forensics. And this is just another black eye for forensics. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I want to share with you about it, but we'll get to it after we show you a little update on what happened today.
Yeah, and we're going to play this little piece for you guys just to set up the shenanigans that went on at the trial, day 18. I mean, I was running around, busy Monday, but man, I think this was the most amount of communication Ed and I had in one day with the phone calls back and forth. Ed was like, "Are you watching this? Am I seeing things? Is this really happening?" So let's take a listen.
A key prosecution witness coming under fire in Karen Reed's murder retrial. Earlier today, the defense, they moved quickly to discredit a digital forensic expert for the Commonwealth, getting him to admit there were mistakes in his resume and reports. NBC 10's John Maroney joins us live from Dedham with the latest on today's testimony. John?
Well, that digital expert for the state found himself on the hot seat as the defense attacked his credibility and his findings.
You'll hear more about the data. Our case hasn't started.
Karen Reed's Lexus holds a lot of data regarding the night she's accused of hitting John O'Keefe with her vehicle and leaving him to die in a blizzard.
My name is Shanon Burgess.
The prosecution's digital expert says Reed's vehicle was running in front of 34 Fairview Road when she allegedly hit her boyfriend. He said the vehicle recorded a three-point turn as well as a sudden acceleration in reverse. In addition, he says the vehicle's movements match data from O'Keefe's cell phone.
There are the various documents that we've seen that state that you have obtained the Bachelor of Science, correct?
Again, with errors or misinterpretation. Yes.
Defense attorney Robert Alesse tried to discredit Shanon Burgess of the Texas-based company Aperture. Under cross-examination, the prosecution witness admitted he doesn't have a BS in mathematics, even though documents indicate he does, including on his firm's website. He also acknowledged mistakes in his work.
Your protocol for data acquisition was based on a misunderstanding of megabits versus megabytes, correct?
It was based on a working theory and a misinterpretation, yes.
In other testimony, a DNA expert says there's strong support to say a hair found on the back of the SUV belongs to O'Keefe. The hair analysis was done by a private company, which made the comparison from DNA belonging to John O'Keefe's mother. She rolled her eyes as defense attorney Alan Jackson tried to undermine the findings and likely match with her son.
All right, so, this reporter shows his bias by what he just did right there. His words that he chose, and that's just total horseshit. Okay, mitochondrial DNA. You cannot link it back to one individual unless the totality of the circumstances shows that that is the only person that had access to the location and could have left it. In this case, John's mother, John's brother, John's niece, and John's nephew could have all been the person that left the DNA and the hair from the mitochondrial, the hair rather, could have left the hair on that car. Okay.
Right. And that's what we're looking at here.
So they can't say it's John's hair to the exclusion of the mother, the brother, the niece, and the nephew.
Right.
I mean, this is just horseshit.
Especially the nephew, because again, niece and nephew are obviously in and out of that car all the time, you know, so it's not just exclusively used by him.
Right. Tammy LP, mitochondrial DNA doesn't give you autosomal, I'm having a brain fart, doesn't give you nuclear DNA results where you get a genetic match to an individual. Okay. It doesn't give you that. Mitochondrial, that's why they can only say that it's the mother's DNA material. And all these people share the same DNA as the mother.
Right. Yep. All right. Let's let the rest of this play, and we'll listen to this news reporter show his major bias as he's reporting one side of this.
Support to say a hair found on the back of the SUV.
Yes.
An expert says there's strong support to say a hair found on the back of the SUV belongs to O'Keefe. The hair analysis was done by a private company, which made the comparison from DNA belonging to John O'Keefe's mother. She rolled her eyes as defense attorney Alan Jackson tried to undermine the findings and likely match with her son.
Because the hair could have come from his mom, it could have come from his maternal nephew, or anybody in his maternal line, correct?
Correct.
Now, Shanon Burgess will be back on the stand tomorrow morning when testimony resumes.
So there you have it, Ed.
I have no respect for that guy. No respect for that reporter.
But I wanted to play that purposely because people watch that, Ed, and they're just like, yeah.
That's what they did. That's what Attorney Jackson did.
And it's the
No, he was pointing out the truth, which Brennan didn't point out. Brennan wants everybody in the jury to believe that hair, the DNA mitochondrial test, shows that it's John to the exclusion of his mother, his brother, his niece, and his nephew. And that's just horseshit.
Horseshit to the 10th degree. We have some video of Karen Reed and her father coming out of court today. Ed coming outside of court today after this debacle.
I do too.
You must have a lot. You're an educator.
Well, yeah. Certainly don't misrepresent your academic credentials, particularly when you're an expert. I'll start with that. I don't know where to go from there. It's just what this state is doing, this persecution of Karen Reed and this collection of actors, witnesses, is just disgraceful. Disgraceful. I'm going to call upon Michael Morrissey to stop this charade. Do the honorable thing. Because of what we've seen in this courtroom over the last 4+ weeks now. This is an expert witness today. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep. He's disgusted.
Oh yeah, and he has every right to be.
He absolutely does. What we witnessed today and all the previous days is nothing short of a sham. I hate to say it, but there's people out there that are former law enforcement professionals that are supporting this garbage.
Please, please, I don't want to go down that road either, because
I don't want to get you going, Ed, but it's a fact. And for me, I just can't see. Like, maybe my lenses are different, maybe your lenses are different, but if you can't see this is going on day in and day out. Let's listen to what Karen has to say. This is her coming down the steps with her attorneys. There's a gag order, so they can't say anything, but it doesn't include her and her father and anybody from the family that wants to speak.
Yeah, my reaction is that Attorney Brennan represented to this court and to us just last week that he was surprised to get a report on May 8th that was only shared with us on May 11th. And now we find out from this witness that Attorney Brennan knew this report was coming the whole time. That's the definition of an ambush. That's what just happened.
What do you think of his?
Yeah, what do you think of the timeline?
What about the credentials? Anything else?
Do you have any more idea about
Ron, can I jump
It's fraudulent.
Yeah, of course. Ed.
All right. So when this issue came up, the defense rose up and said they were being sandbagged by the prosecution. And they said it was a violation of discovery and all of this stuff. And they were seeking to have it suppressed. And Brennan said, oh, I was shocked. Well, their own witness's report says that at the request of Brennan, that he generated this report. Now, then on cross-examination, he says, well, that was just a cut and paste from another report that I used. And I say, bullshit on that. Here's the bin. One, they hired the company, Aperture. They hired the company. And then they were given a choice, and that's the Commonwealth. We're given a choice of experts in the company to do certain things. They got the doctor to do the accident reconstruction and the crash, and they got, oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay. And they got, hold on. I got my notes right here because I took copious notes today. They got Shanon to do the work on the phone and all of the electronics from the vehicle. Now, they are billing, just like ARCA is billing hours of work to the company, okay? And the company then bills. They submit their hours to the company. The company then submits the bill to the Commonwealth. Right. Somebody had to authorize the work that Shanon did. He didn't, oh, I did it all by myself on my own. Oh, really? You did it for free? You didn't get paid for that? Your company didn't get paid for that? All those billable hours? That's bullshit. Look, when I enter into a contract as a forensic expert for the prosecution and the defense team, I have a contract and it spells out all the work that I'm going to be doing and how much I'm going to bill per hour. And then I'm going to get a retainer and then I'm going to work off that retainer. Once I work off that retainer, I start submitting bills to them to start paying me, okay, for the work. Now, if I have to do something that is beyond the scope that's spelled out in the contract, I have to call them and get approval to go beyond the scope of our initial contract. And then we create an addendum.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just all horseshit. What he, so another professional, quote unquote, perjurer, he got up there and said, oh, I did it all on my own and nobody knew about it. Well, then we find out later, yeah, there's plenty of people who knew. Lieutenant Tully knew, Brennan knew. Okay. Yeah. And then the doctor knew that he was doing this report because the doctor needed his numbers to jive with what the doctor wanted to do. Okay. And you can't say, oh, because as Brennan did when he was arguing to the judge, oh, there's nothing new here, Your Honor. There's nothing new. Yeah, there was plenty of things that were new in this second report as opposed to the January report. And basically all this guy did is testify to the new report submitted in May 8th. Okay. Submitted on May 8th. Yeah. And then we find out that he's been in conversation with Tully at least 10 times, maybe more. I said the other night, right, if you remember, that we as forensic professionals should be we should be treated like a practice, like doctors, architects, engineers, nurses, so forth and so on. And we licensed by the state, okay, to do what we do so that we have a state body that oversees us, has ethics, have boards to investigate any wrongdoing, and then there are consequences. Now, I said also, if you remember just the other day in one of our shows, that in forensics, the only thing we have is our integrity and our reputation. Lose that and you're done. And I'm telling you, this guy is done. He's toast. Now, for his company, how did his HR advertise him and publicize him with that bio on their website that said he had that degree? Which, by the way, we find out today that University of Alabama doesn't even have that degree, okay? And put hyperlinks from their website, their company website, to his LinkedIn and to his CV. Really? So I have a problem with that company too. Okay.
Yeah.
How did HR allow that to occur? How they hired this guy in the first place?
Major misrepresentation. And when we went, before we went live here tonight, we went to his LinkedIn profile, and shockingly, that whole section that he had on there that he was called out on today is gone. He edited it, or they edited it and took it out. So I have the screenshots of it. I sent it to Kristen. I have it on my phone here, and I did a double check before we went live. I went to his LinkedIn profile. I didn't go to the Aperture website. I probably should have done that as well. I'm sure that they either have updated or took off that hyperlink. But it's disgraceful, because when you see everything that's happening here, and all of the ways the Commonwealth is trying to bamboozle and taint this case. If you can't see this, and if you've been following this from the beginning, from trial 1, and now you're paying attention here from trial 1 to trial 2, it's clear and evident. It's clear and evident. Let's listen to what Karen had to say. Ed, go ahead.
Okay, no, when his opening on direct, they asked him if he had certifications and if he was a member of any organizations. Many of us are. Yes, I'm a member of many different forensic organizations, right? And I have all different kinds of certifications in forensics. Well, guess what? After this, I bet you he loses all those certifications and he gets kicked out of all of those associations.
Oh yeah. I mean, I spoke with many professionals today via text message in regards to this, and everybody that I spoke with, whether they were friends with this guy and were following him as professionals, they had one thing in common to say, and it's exactly what you just said. He's done. His professional career of testifying, as he stated, for the defense, for the prosecutor, in insurance cases, he's done. He's
absolutely. And not only is he done, any other cases that he worked on is going to get re-looked at by whoever hired him. Okay. And whoever hired him has to notify their opponent. So if you were the prosecutor, you have to notify the defense. If you were the defense, you have to notify the prosecutor, depending on how the case went. And then if he worked for insurance agencies. So all those lawyers involved in those insurance claims and all that stuff, all the people there have to be notified.
And I'm sure there's a shit ton of this, because he was on social media in 2022 looking and responding to people who are saying, hey, if you want to get some work, we have some work here, and blah, blah, blah. He's back and forth openly on social media in 2022 saying he's looking for work. So he was trying to maximize his reach through other people. But EV323, mom of the history chick, sends in 10, and she says a prosecutor's job is to always represent and seek the truth, no matter where it leads. It's not happening here. And we, the people, need to be gravely concerned. That's a great statement right there.
100%. 100%. That's the prosecutor's job. Seek justice in the name of the people. Okay.
Amen. Yeah. And that's not happening here.
No.
Thank you, Leanne, for becoming a member. And 7 Mary 3, thank you for the 10. Grinds my gears when people lie about their education and credentials. It can never be trusted. I busted my butt to earn my bachelor's degree. Yeah. I mean, it's a slap in the face to everybody in that, in that career path, or looking to go into forensics as it pertains to vehicles and what he purported to be an expert at. Ed?
Yeah. And you know what I'm finding out too? A lot of these people that are into these digital forensics, whether it's the vehicle or cell phones or computers or whatever, they all know each other, right? They all know each other. They all converse with each other. They all go, and it's a smaller clique than say what our CSIs. It's a smaller little clique. So, I find that too, that they all support each other and so forth. When certain times, maybe you shouldn't be supporting certain people. But
right.
That said, also when you're on LinkedIn, okay, when people visit your profile, for the most part, unless you're a premium member, you can block, the person that you visited from seeing who you are. But most of the other people who are not premium members can't do that. So when you go, if you're a non-premium member on LinkedIn and you go to somebody's profile, it gives them a notification that you visited them. Whether you are connected to that individual or not, it gives them a notification that you visited. 72 hours after the defense team visited his profile on LinkedIn, it got changed. It got taken down.
Things that make you go, I just want to play the rest of this because I want to hear what these reporters asked her as she was walking away. I know that the audio is not great on this, but let's listen in. If you have headphones, plug them in.
Can you give a timeline?
What about the credentials? Anything else?
Do you have any more idea of any more? It's called fraudulent. It's fraudulent. It's a lie.
Will you be able to challenge this conclusion?
Yes. Do you think the data was sponged? You'll hear more about the data. Our case hasn't started.
You'll be able to show the.
Too bad we couldn't hear any of it. She said it's fraudulent. It's fraudulent. So yeah, today was mind-blowing, says YouTube user. Today was beyond mind-blowing because what we saw was just, again, I asked Ed, have you seen anything like this in your entire time? And you've been on the stand in 399 different occasions where you've had to give expert testimony. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that you followed those cases through to see what the end result was. And did you ever see a prosecutor bring on such hogwash? And it's not just this guy. There was others, there's others that are questionable and so forth. But
I have to say, I have seen a case where a prosecutor let politics get in the way of justice and the truth. I have seen that. Okay.
Is that in New York City?
Yes.
Shocking.
Okay. Well, we've all seen it on television. The subway incident. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But I'm talking about a case that I was personally involved in. Okay. To the point that the same prosecutor had wrote all these laudatory letters to my commanding officer when I was working for him. But when I retired and was working for a defense attorney, tried to make me out to be a piece of shit. Okay, so that's funny. Don't write laudatory letters about an individual if you're going to try to pull a stunt like that. But that said, but as I said, I've seen forensic whores who get paid cash, sometimes in the hallway of the courtroom, the courthouse, which I've seen personally, to go in and go and testify in a case, having just seen a piece of evidence in the hallway, and then go in there and make up testimony about that piece of evidence that defied logic and science. And then I've seen others who were denied expert status in one case, then get hired by unscrupulous defense attorneys in another case, both cases that I'm involved with, and then get up there and when on voir dire, asked if he's ever been denied expert status before, and then purges himself and says no. And then I already warned the DA about this guy, and they pulled the case in advance of his voir dire, and then showed it to the judge, called a sidebar, and he was taken out in cuffs.
Handcuffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside the presence of the jury. Okay.
That takes the cake on this one, but unbelievable. So you've seen a lot, but if you had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, this is, to me, this is not only an embarrassment, but it's a black eye for all the good guys and girls that are out there doing this job, and it's going to make it tough for them. Because
the prosecutor knew this was coming. That's why I didn't ask about his educational credentials. Okay.
And I wanted to ask you, did I happen to hear you right? Did you say forensic whores?
Yes. They get paid to say what whoever's hiring them to say, wants them to say.
What they want to hear. Yeah, what they want to present.
Uh-huh. They have no ethics. They have no scruples, and most of these people don't have any certifications or licenses to lose. They're not worried about it. It's just whatever they can make in the moment, right? And how much cash they can make.
Yeah. So when you said that, I know I heard you, but the chat blew up with a lot of people saying, "Did that just say a forensic?"
Would it be better to say forensic prostitutes?
It was better you saying it without anybody questioning it, but so many people said it in the chat that I had to address it. Do you want to go to the cross-examination of let's get right into it. It looked like he was going to have a heart attack. His face, although he did have a red blotchy face when
he started,
he had a little bit of discoloring there on his face. I'm not about picking apart people's skin and condition and hair. I'm not one to talk about hair, but he definitely got bright beet red.
Honestly, in all sincerity and no kidding aside, all kidding aside, I was worried for his health because I thought his blood pressure had shot up so much that he got that coloration in his skin, and I was worried. For his health. Yes, honest to God, I was worried. I'm worried right now, but that's another issue.
Yeah, I said it to you earlier. I also talked to Kristen on the phone, and I'm listen. Let's not jump on the bandwagon and totally go at this guy and send him messages. Please don't do that. Don't send messages on his LinkedIn or social media. It's a rough day for this guy. But again, he did it to himself. You do not. I mean, look. We put in, I have in my social media profiles, I'm a 9/11 World Trade Center first responder, New York City police detective, warrant squad. I worked in the fugitive enforcement. I don't bolster it. I don't, I don't try to make myself out to be more than what I am, because that's the right thing to do. If you're a professional, you need to have, you need to uphold to these professional standards. You need to hold yourself up to your professional standards. And he failed to do that, and he was blaming it on a clerical error. That's not a clerical error. That has been in his profile for a long period of time, and miraculously that he was called out on it on a nationally televised trial today in Massachusetts, it all of a sudden got corrected. When was that going to be corrected? Would it ever have been corrected if nobody called him out on it? If some smart, sharp defense attorneys didn't pick up on it? He would have. How long was he getting away with it? That's the thing that
Well, he's been working for them for 10 years.
Jesus,
right?
That is unbelievable. Thank you to everyone who's here that has given super chats. If you feel that this is the beginning of the end for the prosecution, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel that this is not quite the 1-2 takeout punch, put a 2. You think that they need more, but really, if there isn't a mound of doubt here, and the defense, all they have to do is create doubt, and they've done that already. They've done that almost every day. Ed, almost every day of this trial, there's been doubt
with almost every witness. Few exceptions, but his math was wrong. His reports were wrong. Everything this guy did even in he couldn't even concede. It was an alteration. Whatever he was arguing back and forth with Alesse, he couldn't say it was a different report.
Yeah,
it was amended. Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
No, you added stuff that wasn't in the original report. It's changed.
The only witness that I felt, well, it was like a couple, but the only witness that in recent history, last week or so, was the weatherman. The weatherman gave us a weather report of what the conditions were like that day.
And the pathologist.
Yeah. And there was a couple of others.
Maybe Sarah the nurse.
Right. Sarah the nurse. But again, it's just a handful, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. But gifted memberships by the Glam Sues. Thank you so much for gifting 5. And we're going to get to your questions in a few minutes. Let's listen to this cross-examination. How many people here heard this cross-examination live? Somebody watched the trial all day today. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard it live. If you watched it on a replay, put a 1. If you didn't hear it, put a 2. I'm just curious to see, Ed, how many people really didn't hear this yet. But I think if you're invested in this trial, you had to at least listen to this replay of the cross. Like the days that I miss, I actually don't even listen to the prosecutor talk. I listen to the cross.
And he's not even done with cross because he's got to come back tomorrow.
Oh, holy shiitake mushrooms.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell yes. Let's listen to this. I got it on fast speed. And I put the closed captions on.
The court and the jury and the matter now pending shall be the
Good morning.
Could you please introduce yourself to the
Oh,
jurors,
wait a minute.
spell
This
your
isn't
last
it.
name of the later two of the power off prevented for,
I thought I had it queued up. All right, Ed.
and therefore the forensic,
Here we go.
right?
Oh, that fan. I have
The
nightmares over this fan.
the
Anybody have
fan.
nightmares? Oh, my God.
The spinning fan of
Please
boredom.
make it go away. Here we go. Make the bad fan go away, please.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Leslie.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, and by the way, he shuffles a lot of papers right on this little microphone right here. So it's not us. He stops after a little while, but he's got his hands on it. He's shuffling papers on it, and it makes it difficult. So listen with some earbuds, and you'll hear it pretty good.
Good afternoon, Mr. Burgess.
Good afternoon.
You spell your first name Shanon with 1 N. Do I have that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You describe yourself as a digital forensic examiner, correct?
Yes.
I want to also say, Ed, and I hate to do this, but I won't stop it again. I believe.
Yes,
Shh. Hold on a second.
Stop breathing down my neck.
You just appeared, Ron.
Yeah, yeah, because I hit the button so fast to get that breathing. The way he set him up here, I listened to this twice. It was that good that I listened to it twice.
It was beautiful.
Alesse was unbelievable the way he set him up and the way he made him so comfortable, and then he just boom smashed him. Let's listen. Oh, Popeye agrees.
That's correct.
You use the term forensics often in your analysis.
Yes, I do.
And would you agree that generally the accepted definition of forensics is something that relates to, that's used in, and is suitable for a court of law?
Yes, I would.
And so when you're working in forensics, even in your office, you understand that eventually it's very likely that whatever work you're working on is going to end up or could end up in a court of law, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned in your direct examination the scientific method, right?
Correct.
And I was pleased to hear mention of the scientific method. And I just want to cover some principles with regard to the scientific method. But before I do, I just want to see how forensics envelopes in certain items. So forensics applies scientific methods and principles to legal matters, particularly in criminal investigations, right?
Correct.
It's a fair statement.
Yes.
Thank you. And forensics are used to help lawyers in their preparation, correct?
Yes, that'd be correct.
And it's used to help judges in courts of law.
Yes, that is correct.
And it's also used to help juries and jurors to understand the results of scientific tests, correct?
Correct.
So you know, and you have to presume that as you are performing your analysis, as I stated earlier, that this information is going to end up in a court of law.
Correct.
And then does that heighten sort of the analysis that you need to do and the sharpness and the accuracy, given that it's going to end up in that form?
It can, depending on context.
And is the primary goal of forensic science to uncover the truth and to provide objective evidence that can be presented in a court?
Yes, it is.
would you generally agree that the work of forensic science, including the work that you do, is intended to be used in court because scientific evidence can be very powerful, and therefore the forensic science must be accurate?
Correct.
It must be methodical.
Correct.
There must be a method, right?
Right.
It must be detailed.
Yes.
And above all, it must be unbiased and truthful, correct?
That is correct.
And all of this, is it fair to say, distills down to reliability?
Correct.
And reliability is a desired characteristic of the forensic scientist.
Yes.
You want people to be able to rely upon your work.
Yes.
He's setting them up.
And credibility and honesty is part of reliability, and it's a fundamental component of that, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You've stated that you hold your opinions to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty. You said that several times on direct, correct?
Correct.
And because the discipline of forensics involves the application of the scientific method, as you stated on direct, you therefore, of course, applied the scientific method throughout your analysis, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Would you agree with the following statement of the scientific method? And tell me whether, well, let me start with, you understand, you know, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST?
Yes, I am familiar. Yep.
And would you agree with a definition of the scientific method as the systematic pursuit of knowledge involving the recognition and definition of a problem, the collection of data through observation and experimentation, analysis of the data, the formulation, evaluation, and testing of hypotheses, and where possible, the selection of a final hypothesis? I know there's a lot there, and if you'd like me to break any of it down, you let me know.
No, I find that generally acceptable. Yep.
And I wanted to emphasize the end, the evaluation
thank you.
and testing of hypotheses, and where possible, the selection of a final hypothesis. You understand what I'm meaning by hypothesis?
Yes, I do.
The scientific method is used, among other reasons, is it not, to avoid certain biases in the science process, correct?
Yes, that's
Right.
correct.
So the method is trying to prevent a scientist, not cultural bias, but scientific bias, correct?
Correct.
Do you know what the American Academy of Forensic Scientists refer to as cognitive biases in science, generally?
No, I do not.
Have you heard of the term confirmation bias?
Yes, I have heard of that term.
Have you heard of the term anchor bias in the scientific method?
I have not heard that term.
Let's start with confirmation bias. Is a fair definition, and you said you're generally familiar with that, right?
Yes, correct.
So let's.
Ed, I want to ask you, did anything stand out to you while you were listening to this cross about what he's getting ready to set him up for, or did it just completely catch you off guard?
No, I knew where he was going with this, and I just didn't understand why he didn't know what the American Academy of Forensic Science definition was. And you know, he should be a member of numerous forensic organizations, and everybody knows these definitions, and everybody knows when conducting forensics not to fall into these traps.
Right.
Except for him.
He didn't know it. But you know, without having a degree, you can go and get all of these
certifications.
Right. I was going to say
Right.
accreditation, but certifications in these various different fields without having, you know, a bachelor of science, without having, you can not even graduate high school. If your company's sending you to get these certifications, anybody can get them, right?
Right. I mean, you take certain training and then you are proficiency tested. But here's the thing: his company, not unlike the labs, didn't get accredited. Now his company could have got accredited, and then there should have been a QA/QC, a quality control, quality QA quality. I'm having brain farts today, left and right. Quality assurance, quality control. Okay, could have they could have established a quality assurance, quality control program. They could have proficiency testing, and then test their employees every maybe twice a year, like the accredited labs do, and then that would have brought all of these people up to a higher level. And now to maintain a certification, that requires continuing education. So it's not like one and done. Oh, I passed the test once, and now I don't have to do anything for the rest of my life, and now I'm a certified whatever. Okay, no, that's not how it works. You have to maintain your continuing educations, and then you have to be retested on an annual basis.
Right, right.
Let's start with that. That's the practice of sort of selectively gathering and interpreting evidence to confirm the scientist's belief or a belief of another, and at the same time neglecting evidence that contradicts them. Is that a fair definition of confirmation bias?
Yes.
And an example of confirmation bias is not considering alternative hypotheses once an initial hypothesis has been selected, even though the data and other information might contradict the initial hypothesis. Fair statement?
Yes, that's a fair statement.
And that's what Proctor
and confirmation bias
did. That's what Proctor and Urey did. They spoke to one person out of 3 they were interviewing that gave them their theory, not the hypothesis, their theory, and they ran with it. Put the blinders on, and that's it.
Yeah, we got the girl. Pin it on the girl.
Yes, although sometimes it occurs, is intellectually and analytically antithetical to it's opposing of the scientific method, correct?
Correct, yes.
And it's to be avoided.
Right.
Anchor bias is, and I know you said you didn't recall it, but let me see if this triggers a recollection. If not, fair enough.
Okay.
Anchor bias is when you prioritize information and data that supports your initial impression of the evidence, even where the impressions are incorrect or it's unknown the impression is incorrect. You sort of anchor into that. Does that sound like a reasonable definition of anchor bias?
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
So biases are to be avoided in the application of scientific matters and methods because they can lead to incorrect conclusions in science, right?
Right.
And even though they're to be avoided, you called this case a homicide even before you began your alleged scientific testing. Isn't that correct?
I don't recall. Where would I have called it a homicide?
Do you recall your January 30th, 2025 report that you prepared in this case?
Yes, I do.
You have it with you?
I do.
Can you turn to page 4, footnote 3, please?
Yes.
Footnote, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It is page 4, footnote 3.
Lifeguard Bev coming in, trying to rescue.
Here I come to save the day.
And in page 4, footnote 3, it states, I'm sorry, sir, are you there?
Yes, I am sorry.
It says evidence review by the defense counsel Ray O'Keefe, MV homicide. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Now, you assumed in the very beginning that Miss Reed had hit Mr. O'Keefe with her car before you began the scientific testing that you had discussed in your direct.
No, that would be incorrect.
But you did list homicide down in footnote 3, correct?
Yes, I did.
And so this report's drafted January 30th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And the testing, I'll just give you a snapshot. Some of the testing you discussed with Mr. Brennan, that testing didn't occur until after this trial started, correct? Some of the testing you described in direct?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so that testing didn't even occur in the trial. Just assume the trial started at April 22nd. So the testing you described when you were talking about aligning clocks and GPS, that occurred after April 22nd, correct?
Correct. You did.
Now let's go on to another topic. Let's talk about professional credentials. You know what I mean by the term credentials?
Yes, I do.
Professional credentials are important in any profession, correct?
Correct.
And they're important in your forensic examiner profession as well.
Correct.
Your forensic scientists and examiners are no different than any other professional that credentials are important. And your profession requires you to provide curriculum vitae, laying out your education, training, and background, correct?
Correct.
And it's imperative, is it not, that the information that is disseminated about your professional credentials are absolutely truthful, right?
Yes, they should be.
You say they should be. Let's continue on with that topic. You understand what's meant by the term ethics, right? Generally?
Yes.
It's coming.
And simple ethics mandate that one is truthful about their professional credentials, correct?
Correct.
And a fundamental credential is what type of college degree you hold, correct?
Correct.
People rely on those credentials, and the credentials are the foundation of your expert opinions and analyses, correct?
They can be. Yes.
They can be, and they often are, correct?
Yes, they can be depending on context.
He has no idea.
But more often than not, they're important.
Yes. Again, depending on context.
You know that not only your colleagues, but your clients, your firm clients, courts, and juries will rely on your CV and your credentials in order to make determinations about whether you're qualified to testify and your depth of your qualifications, correct?
Correct.
As an expert.
You provided the Commonwealth, the defense, and the court
Here we go.
with your CV in this case, correct?
Correct.
That's Alesse shuffling the papers.
If I can have a moment, Your Honor, I will
Yes.
get my first exhibits.
I think Judge Bev right now is thinking of a way to stop this, but she can't.
Oh, she didn't let the voir dire happen. If she would have let the voir dire, this would have never happened in front of a jury. So chalk one up for the defense.
His face was flushed prior to this, but now it's like bright red.
Yeah, it's getting redder. And the curriculum vitae and the voir dire are normally used to determine a person's subject matter expertise, and the judge makes the decision on whether the person is a subject matter expert. And then once that designation is given by the judge to a witness, the witness can give opinion evidence.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody can give opinion evidence.
PJ's second chance says, "Oh, watch your signal, Brennan." Somebody said in the chat he may have a skin condition there. It might be like, that blotchy skin. I forgot what they called it, but remember Gorbachev had it up here on his
Rosetta?
Yeah, something like that.
But he's getting redder.
Oh, it's getting redder. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it gets worse from here. Once the cat's out of the bag, it's over.
Your Honor, if I could have this marked as the next exhibit.
For identification?
For identification at this.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm going to have it off. I'm going to be eventually offering it into evidence. So
Okay.
they presented to the witness.
So we'll talk about identification first.
Yep. Okay.
Bev had to add extra alcohol into that tumbler today. There it is.
She's got a White Claw button up there. She hits it and they come running in with a White Claw.
This guy's shitting a brick right now.
May I present it to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you.
He sees the
Bridges,
aperture.
I am presenting you with exhibit.
TT for identification.
I would thank you, Your Honor. I'm learning not to talk while I'm walking backwards, so Madam Court Reporter can hear me. So I'm presenting you with what is exhibit TT for identification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And what is that document?
So this document appears to be my CV.
May I approach further?
Yes.
Thank you. And
Debbie.
is that CV a document that you have prepared?
Yes, so that is a document that either I have prepared or the company Aperture has prepared.
And is that a fair and accurate document?
It appears to be.
Your Honor, I offer that into evidence.
Any objection, Mr. Brennan?
No, thank you.
Yes.
And if you could just, can you run up and have the witness hold on? I have some
Hold on, let's let it mark
Yes.
first.
Yep.
Exhibit 183.
Thank you.
Put it back to normal so we could really hear it good. How many people enjoyed this part of the cross? Put a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed it. Put a 2 if you thought it was horrible. Hold on, I'm going to.
Mr. Burgess, you have in front of you your CV that we just spoke about, and I'd ask you please to draw your attention to the education section where underneath in red it says BGS, and then do I read it correctly? It says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, University of Alabama Birmingham, Alabama currently pursuing. Did I read that correctly?
You did read that correctly.
Thank you, sir.
It's no longer on his profile.
He's been pursuing it for 18 years.
Your Honor.
17.
Thank you.
It's winning.
Like this.
You can't catch it.
Next for identification only.
His whole neck. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys could see it on the screen, but man, on my monitor here, it's bright red right now. Bev's panties are getting in a tizzy right now. She is so upset.
May I hand it to the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to actually have it marked for identification first,
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
Exhibit UU for ID.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burgess, it's been marked. The document is Exhibit UU for identification. Could you please tell me if you recognize that?
Yes, I do recognize that.
And sir, please describe briefly what that is.
Sure. So it is a CV as well.
Thank
you. He knows now.
I would offer it into evidence at this time, Your Honor.
Is Brennan any objection?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Exhibit 184.
I wonder if he has the Apple Health app.
This thing would explode.
Okay.
Thank you.
He probably wants to just go under that thing and just hide.
What was it? Was it Trooper Paul that said what he
Mr.
said in
Burgess,
the last trial?
once you've had a fair opportunity.
Hold on, Trooper Paul. And this is the answer to Trooper Paul. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yes.
This is Trooper Paul 2.0 on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
This is Trooper Paul 2.0 on crack. I don't know. Kathleen says, will he have the balls to show back up tomorrow? He has to. He's got no choice. Wow. This is even better the third time around.
To look at that, I have a question, and that question is simple. Is that your April 2025 CV?
Let me see.
He knows.
Yes, it appears to be.
Thank you. And when you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, when you can just pick your head up, sir, to let me know you're ready. I don't want to rush you, but then I have some questions.
Absolutely.
Thank
Go ahead.
It's my Jagalone inside.
So in those two exhibits, your two CVs in front of you, am I correct that the first one is November 2024 and the second one is April 2025?
Let me see.
It's like that scene out of Tommy Boy. Many people go to school for 8 years. Yeah, they're called doctors.
Yes, that appears to be correct.
It says 17 years you've been.
In both of those CVs, you indicate that you have not yet earned a bachelor's degree.
That is correct.
And you certainly have not earned a Bachelor of Science degree in any educational field, according to those two CVs, right?
Correct.
And in fact, as you sit here today, you do not possess any bachelor's degree.
Correct.
And the reason, as you state, is because that bachelor's degree is currently pending. That's the term you use.
So I use currently pursuing.
Currently pursuing. Yes.
Are you even registered?
You have a public profile that's published on Aperture's website, correct?
Yes, I do.
And it's in the form of a biography page.
Yes, I believe so.
And that biography page has your education listed.
Very possible. Yes.
He knows it.
Of course he knows it.
Holy sweet mother of Jesus.
May I put you on?
Yes.
So much for the motto of that company, right?
Folks are saying the only BS he's ever earned is a bachelor's in BS.
No, they're saying he's got a PhD in that.
Master bullshitter. Yeah. Yikes. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you for joining, and thank you to the new members and everybody that's here. It gets worse. If you think it's bad now, it gets a little worse from here.
OB is in the house.
Hey, OB, good to see
If
you.
I could have this marked, please, and once Mr. Brennan reviews
She
it.
asked me to join her today. I wish I could have, but you know how my day went today, Ed. I could barely talk to you.
You know, I like Alesse, but he keeps hitting that microphone with those papers. I'm going to stick that microscope. I mean, the microscope. Yeah.
I know what you were going to say, and I'm glad you did.
The microphone.
You know he's not going to do that
Your Honor,
tomorrow.
may I have this marked as next identification in order?
When they did their debrief at the end of the day in the hotel room, they're like, dude, you did a good job, but Rob, stay away from the mic. For Christ's
Swing
sake.
sweat.
Swing sweat.
Yes.
Now, Mr.
Here we
Burgess
go.
is giving you Exhibit DB for identification.
And for those of you who are upset over the closed caption, I know it was only a couple. I have it on because sometimes the microphone's not picking up the audio, and it's not exactly correct 100%, but it's close. And I'm putting it up a little higher, so when I highlight a comment, if I have it down here, they get mixed up. So I put it above right here because I want to see the comments as I highlight them. Let me know what you think. I'm doing that for you. And Becky B have to be my little, kind of demonstration of why I have the closed caption where I have it. And it's for everybody's benefit. So for the few that don't like it, what do they say, Ed?
Tough shit.
Take a hike.
You recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And indeed, that is the bio page that's published on Aperture's website, correct?
That is what it appears to be. Yes.
Now, I would like you, sir, to turn to page 2.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'd like to turn your focus to the bottom of education.
We need some menacing organ music.
Correct, sir. BS, mathematics, and business administration. Is that correct?
It does state that. Yes.
And there is no qualification that's currently pending. It states BS in mathematics and business administration, correct?
That's what it states there. Yes.
And you do not have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, do you?
No, I do not.
Look at this one. I love this comment. Thank you for being honest and giving us an update. Off topic, says Kate. YouTube is assaulting me with the worst ads possible. Gaming ads? I don't game. I can't afford premium, for crying out loud. That gets the comment of the live stream. Thank you, Kate. Sorry, I don't have control.
And if you click on the hyperlink for your CV on that same website, do you know where that hyperlink takes you?
No, I do not.
To any member of the public reading this, including prosecutor, a defense attorney, a judge, or a jury, that represents that you received your Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, does it not? Objection.
That's sustained.
Now, if you continue on to your photograph, are you familiar with Aperture's website that speaks about you and presents you generally?
Vaguely, yes.
I look at it daily. Vaguely? The fuck out.
Are you aware that Aperture has two hyperlinks, one that says CV and one says LinkedIn? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am now.
And LinkedIn is a professional networking platform designed for career and business professionals to connect, share content, find jobs, etc. Is that a fair description of LinkedIn?
Yes, it is.
And could we also conclude that it's a professional networking platform, especially for private sector firms like Aperture, that's used to attract clients or potential clients?
Yes, correct.
And potential clients include, for example, the Commonwealth of the state of Massachusetts, correct?
Correct.
And indeed, the Commonwealth is no longer, if you will, an attracted client, but it's an actual client of Aperture and you, correct?
Correct.
And that's the status of the relationship here. Aperture is a client of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in this case, right?
Correct.
So is it fair to say that your CV, especially when it's published on a LinkedIn or published on a website, is something that is published to intend to have, especially if you're in the private sector, have clients view and retain your services? That's a hope and an expectation, correct?
Yes, that is part of it.
Now, when you look at that,
I got to correct this for you, Ed. Simi Sharp, thank you for answering Wiggy 399 times. He has been. Ed, go ahead. Your fingers up.
No, 399 times. That's correct.
There you go. I'm just correcting the record, Ed.
document, when you click on, if you were to be in your
Thank you,
office, and
Cameron.
let's see if you're familiar with this, you click on your LinkedIn on Aperture's page, that would ordinarily take you directly to your professional LinkedIn account, correct? Isn't that what the links are there for?
Yes, I would expect so.
Are you notified when someone electronically accesses your LinkedIn account?
Not accesses, no. Are you referring to viewing?
Yes, that's a better
Sorry,
verb,
yeah.
viewing. Yes.
Yes.
So you're notified. Were you notified within the last 72 hours that someone from the defense accessed your publicly available or viewed your publicly available LinkedIn account?
No, I was not aware.
Are you aware that within the last 72 hours, that hyperlink on Aperture's official website was disabled?
No, I was not aware.
Are you aware that now if you try to go on that link that you can't, that it's disabled?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Do you know whether anyone from Aperture directed someone within Aperture to disable your LinkedIn account within the last 72 hours?
No, I'm not.
Have you spoken to anybody at Aperture about your LinkedIn account?
No, I have not.
Ed, while he shuffles some papers, I want to answer some of the questions, and you take some of the questions. But I want to say this to you, Ed. Is it reasonable to believe that going forward, potentially here in the next day or so, when he comes back, that all of his testimony could be stricken from the jury due to this?
I don't think it will be stricken. I don't think Lifeguard Bev will strike his testimony. I think what's going to happen is he's been thoroughly impeached to this point, and made to look as a liar and incompetent and so forth, unethical, that maybe there's going to be what's the word I'm looking for? The judge will speak to the jury and say that you can, if you believe any of the witnesses here have lied, then you can disregard their entire testimony.
The Fixer sends in a $2 super chat, and she says, "From a real UAB grad, thank you for speaking truth." Thank you for being here. What?
Even though I'm a Tiger, I'll say roll Tide.
Yeah. Somebody's misinformed. They're talking about 399 thrown out cases. Ed.
Really?
That's hogwash. That's hogwash. Anyways, let's let the rest of this roll because this gets good.
Yep. Your Honor, I'd like to move EB into evidence at this time, please.
Okay, any objection?
Yep. That's not what I presented to you. No objection.
Exhibit 185.
We are done with those. So if I could ask those back to you.
Absolutely.
Everybody, make sure you're on live chat so you're up to date with what we're saying here, and then
Your
we
Honor,
hit
could
the
I have
live button.
please the next one marked for identification of this?
Yes.
Thank
WW. Thank you.
May I present to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess, I presented to you what is marked as Exhibit WW for identification. I'd ask that you take a look at it, take a fair amount of time, and then if you could, sir, pick your head up so I could see that you're ready.
Sure. Yes, Ed's okay.
Hey, Wiggy, I'm still testifying.
You recognize that document, sir?
Yes, it appears to be a screenshot of my LinkedIn account.
Your Honor, I offer that into evidence.
Look who's in the chat, Ed.
Who dat? Who dat? Hey,
A brother from another mother.
keep up the great work, my friend. Folks, if you haven't already, go support this man. Go over to his channel and subscribe.
Mods, please put his link to BN Trouble 31 in the chat. Great work, great channel. Everybody go subscribe.
Keep up those experiments. I'm loving it.
Sidebar with me.
Sidebar. Baby, Auntie Bev with a sidebar. Let's fast forward this. We don't have time for sidebars.
I am presenting to you what has been marked as Exhibit WW for identification. That is that a fair and accurate representation of your personal LinkedIn page? You could take a moment to take a look at it.
Sure.
Mr. Alesse, I'm going to ask you to step back so all the jurors can see the
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Can you step back so the state's expert doesn't have a heart attack? Thank you.
Yes, it does with a error on page 2 regarding education.
Right, and we're going to get into that.
Sure.
But this is you recognize this as a fair and accurate depiction of your personal LinkedIn page with the exception of what you just mentioned, correct?
Correct.
Did you draft that document that's represented as Exhibit WW?
I have drafted that over time. Yes.
And when was the last time you viewed that document on your LinkedIn page?
I don't typically view the profile page, so it would have been. I could not tell you how long it's been.
Bev, look at. Holy shit! Did you just see the side eye Bev gave? Ed, did you catch that?
Play it back. Play it back. Let's go to the videotape.
Look at. I got it perfect. Look at this. I wish I could just put like those red evil eyes with the
lasers coming out.
Laser pointed. She's fucking side eyeing Alesse.
Give him the stink eye.
Wow.
Hey Bev, you did this.
Hold on. Let me call for backup here. Pull it over.
Step away from the bench.
Step away from the bench and have another sip of vodka.
You can take a moment to take a look. Sure.
Mr. Alesse, you actually step back so all the jurors can see.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Look at her. She's so pissed. Wow. She needs to retire. No, she needs to get locked
Yes,
up.
it does with a error on page 2 regarding education.
Right, and we're going to get to that.
Sure.
But this is you recognize this as a fair and accurate depiction of your personal LinkedIn page with the exception of what you just mentioned, correct?
Correct.
Did you draft that document that's represented as Exhibit WW?
I have drafted that over time. Yes.
And when was the last time you viewed that document on your LinkedIn page?
I don't typically view the profile page, so it would have been. I could not tell you how long it's been.
Look at her. Look at the side eye.
Have any reason to believe that Exhibit WW is not on your LinkedIn page online as we sit here today?
No, I don't.
Your Honor, I move Exhibit WW into evidence.
No objection.
Of course not. I object just to object.
Why do you object? Because he's killing my case.
186.
Thank you.
We should get that sound bite.
That was Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Mhm.
Liar, liar.
Mhm.
Wallace, know it all.
I would like to turn your attention to the printout of your personal LinkedIn page and go right to the second page, bottom. And under education, it says University of Alabama at Birmingham, got a little UAB acronym there. And it says Bachelor of Science, B.S. comma, Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation, 2016-2018. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, I do.
That's not correct, is it?
No, it's not correct.
And you do not hold a BS in a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, do you?
I do not. And that would have been at that time an expected graduation date.
So
a two-year expected graduation date.
It would be another word for, is it another word currently pursuing? Is that similar to expecting?
Sure, that could be similar.
But you know how to put currently pursuing down, don't you, sir? Because you did it on the first few CVs, but you don't have it on your LinkedIn page. Am I correct?
Correct. That's probably because obviously that has not been updated in quite some time.
And
because you were too busy going to classes at night.
When people act.
What did you say, Ed?
He didn't update his LinkedIn page because he was too busy taking classes at night.
Session
17 years or 18.
Your LinkedIn page, correct?
I get selective notifications when people view my LinkedIn page.
So you know
he's got that LinkedIn Pro. Like I looked at his profile today at work, and he's got like you know, it's like I don't know, 95 or 100. It's a ridiculous amount of money to have it. I don't even have it, but he's got the highest level that you can have for networking on LinkedIn, and you get so many more notifications and stuff that we wouldn't get just having a regular LinkedIn account. The reason I know is I tried it for like a 30-day trial, and you get notifications anytime anybody clicks on your profile, and you get to see exactly who it is, what, you know, company they're working for. Like, you still get it with the regular lower level, but his account that he had at that time was the highest that you can have on LinkedIn. So he's full of shit.
People are looking at your LinkedIn page. You know, people are looking at your education, and you have down here 2016 to 2018. So that time period is 7 years old from 2018, yet you use the 2016 to 2018 on your LinkedIn page, correct?
Correct. With the caveat that my understanding is people look at your post, not specifically the profile information.
Oh, so you believe you know, apparently, when people are looking at it and what they look at?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying generally.
Generally.
Correct.
But you don't know who's looking at the education section on your LinkedIn page and relying upon what is represented here, that you have a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation from the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Not from the LinkedIn page. Yeah, just independently of the LinkedIn page, yes.
And as you sit here today, that page is still live on your LinkedIn, correct?
Correct.
Everybody should care, Kevin.
So a key aspect of your credentials, whether or not you have obtained a Bachelor of Science, is incorrect in more than one document that I presented here today, correct?
No, I would not agree with that.
Well, it's incorrect in this one, correct?
Correct.
And the one previously to that, there's two documents that have you listed. This LinkedIn, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. So there's two documents, is there not, sir? There's, may I? Thank you. And for report, if I can have the previous one in evidence. If you could hold that, this one, sir, and I'm going to get that like quick from you. Thank you. And Exhibit 185 that's in evidence, if you can turn to the second page. So if you look at each of those state that you have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration. So there are two documents about your credentials that are inaccurate, correct?
Yes, they have errors. Yes, that is correct.
May I have those back,
Sure.
sir?
Yep, both.
Yes.
Yes.
They're called lies. It's not an error. If you put them down and you know you didn't have it, it's a lie.
Yeah, it's an outright lie. And here's the screenshot that I took today from his education. I'm not sure if that's going to come through.
It's not really. Oh, right there, right there.
So the top one right there.
University of Alabama.
And that's what it said today. So
That's what it used to say.
Hey, Ed, he went to Wallace State Community College.
Yeah, that little angry governor that they had down there in Alabama. No relation.
Rainbow, Alabama. Jenny?
Jenny, that's what I think.
I got 8 Jennies in all. All right.
Sometimes there's just not enough rocks.
May May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have the next document marked for identification only at this point.
Bev's infuriated. She just don't know what to do.
You have this marked as the next for identification.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is devastating to my case, Your Honor.
You hand it to the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you. Handing the witness exhibit XX for identification. You recognize that document, sir?
So it appears to be a CV. Yes.
It's your
You,
CV.
you say it appears to be a CV. Can you describe that any further?
Yes. So it's a copy of my CV.
Is that a CV you prepared, sir?
It would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
Stay safe.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end.
Sorry, it would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
Yourself or Aperture?
Correct.
But you had, at a minimum, a role in preparing that, did you not?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, and you would have reviewed that because it's about you before it would have been used by Aperture, correct?
More than likely, yes.
You wouldn't let somebody put a CV up and out to the public without you reviewing it, would you, sir?
So there are other staff members that do review and update CVs.
But you're the only one who's going to know whether what's on it is accurate or not, correct?
Unless I explain that to them, yes.
So either way, either you prepared it yourself or you interacted with somebody and explained it and collaborated with them to make sure it was right to the best of your ability, correct?
Correct.
If you can look at the highlighted portion, sir, under education.
There's no highlight. Well, I understand
sorry.
what you're talking about. There's no highlighted portion.
I'm sorry, let's strike that. If you look under education, the first line, it says in the right underneath BGS. Do you see that, sir?
I do, yes.
And then to the right, it says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, University of Alabama - Birmingham, Alabama, 2022. Did I read that correct?
Yes, you did.
And up in the upper left-hand corner, there's a photograph.
Yes, there is.
Is that you, sir, in the photograph?
Yes, it is.
And in the spelling of your name, Shanon, that's with one N, correct?
Correct, yes.
And so that is not only you in the photograph, that's the spelling of your name with one N, correct?
Correct.
And that's the correct spelling of your first name with one N, correct?
Yes, it
So
is.
that's definitely you represented in this document, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now let's look at the first line that relates to education. It states Bachelors of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, correct?
That is what it states, yes.
And the date is 2022, correct?
Correct.
So this document represents that you received your Bachelor's of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration in 2022, correct?
That is what it states, but there are a number of errors in that, yes.
Correct. So let's go on. So this is the third example. Am I correct, sir? Well, let me, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
This is death by 1,000 cuts.
Your Honor, at this time, I offer Exhibit XX into evidence.
XX.
No objection.
Right. 187.
Sir, is Exhibit 187 a CV that is linked directly from Aperture's website?
Thank you, man.
I do not know. I would have to look and check that.
So as you sit here today, you are not able to state whether that CV is linked directly from Aperture's website.
Correct.
So this is a third example of a document that incorrectly states that you have a Bachelor of Science when you do not possess that degree, correct?
It has errors or outdated information, correct?
Well, when you say outdated, how is it that you can call a date outdated next to something that you don't possess?
I don't understand your question.
Well, you just used the phrase either incorrect or outdated. I'm trying to understand your statement that it's
Sure. So
outdated. Isn't it either you have a Bachelor of Science degree or you don't? Isn't
I have represented I do not have a bachelor's degree.
right? But in here, it's represented that you do, correct?
Yes, it is
All
an
right.
error. Yes.
So let's look at what the name is that are on these documents. It says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration. Do you see that, sir?
I do.
Are you aware that there's no degree at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, called a Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration?
Yes, I am, and that is one of the errors I've identified.
So you would agree that there's not even a degree called Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration offered at the University of Alabama, correct?
Correct. That should be Bachelor of General Studies with minor in Mathematics and Business Administration.
Oh, Lord.
That you don't have.
You just articulated
That you do not have.
you do not possess as you sit here today, correct?
That is correct.
What you possess is an associate's degree, correct?
Correct.
And when did you obtain that associate's degree?
So that would have been 2015.
Hi, Kristen. Christina, good to see you. This is liquid gold.
Are you familiar with the term mendacity?
I am not.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Should have said, are you familiar with the term chutzpah?
Chutzpah. Chutzpah.
Are you familiar with a TV of 2015?
No, I'm not.
Yes.
Oh, no, no.
Man, this is really painful.
Please let the bad man go away.
It's like
Somebody's watching Harvard Law School. You in the library? Are you in the law library?
Your
at
Honor,
this
may I
time?
have this marked as the next?
at this time, the jury's like, mercy, mercy.
Why?
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Do you recognize that document, sir?
No, I do not recognize this document.
Yeah, Coach.
Yes.
And Mac, how are you, my brother? Good to see you.
This is like Gladiator. Are you not entertained?
Ever pursuing? May I stand here and ask some questions, Your Honor?
Can I stand here?
Can
And,
he see the document as well?
can I
Do you have
stand
a
here and
copy?
grill him?
He can see it as well, Your Honor.
Okay. I was just wondering the purpose.
Yeah, sure.
And just step back.
Yeah,
just a-
yep.
Step back. She's like, no, you can't stand there. Step back. You're going to give this guy a heart attack. I just want everybody to know Schmitty is texting me on instant messenger on Facebook that she's under the stairs and that she's having tornado warnings or watches. So prayers for Schmitty. Hopefully she can return and hopefully she makes it out from under the stairs. Prayers for you, Schmitty.
Be safe, Smitty.
Do you recall when you started pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree of any kind?
Sure, I do. Around 2008.
So you started pursuing a Bachelor of Science for the first time in 2008, correct?
Correct.
$17 years.
If I did the math correctly, sir, you've been pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree for 17 years, correct?
That is correct.
I feel
And you
bad.
have not obtained it as you sit here today.
That is correct.
And yet there are the various documents that we've seen that state that you have obtained the Bachelor of Science, correct?
Again, with errors or misinterpretation. Yes.
There's no misinterpretation.
That are
So he thinks that by saying this is just a misinterpretation, that the jury is going to find him to be a credible witness or expert for Commonwealth. I don't think so. It's done. I don't even think Brennan's going to. What could he possibly do to recover from this, Ed?
Oh, he's going to try. Mark my words. He's going to try to rehab this. It's not going to work.
I might
Okay.
take off tomorrow just to watch this.
Are you stating, but you would agree those errors or misinterpretation have been in existence for some time, correct?
Yes, I'm being made aware of them now. Yes.
Yeah, and they haven't been corrected for some time, correct?
Correct.
You work for insurance companies, correct?
I do work for insurance companies in addition to law firms. Yes.
But you work for insurance companies, correct?
Yes. Sometimes. Yes.
Well, you state that right in your report in this case, don't you, sir? That you work for insurance companies?
I do work for insurance companies. Yes.
And what role do you play in working for insurance companies? You working for them, or are you working for the policyholders that have paid premiums or are making a claim to try to get money from an insurance company? Which role do you have? Objection.
Look at Eileen trying to encourage me to bang out of work with it's spatter, not splatter. That's our merch mug, by the way.
That's a classic mug. We need to bring that back.
Everybody's got, it's in the merch store. Everybody pick up, it's spatter, not splatter.
We respectfully disagree, Marie E. His statement is not accurate, and he doesn't have a degree.
And he has no, this guy's a liar, and he's proving it right here in front of the jury on the stand.
He tried to blame the state's expert who de-chipped the circuit boards and said there wasn't all that data there, but there was. It was there.
I'll allow that.
She'll allow it.
So I work for the insurance company themselves.
And in your work for the insurance company, has any of that work related to denying claims to insurance? Objection.
Why don't I see you on this, Mr. Alesse?
Sure. In question, October B.
That was a quick.
In that proposal, data acquisition,
That was a quick one, right, Ed?
Mayor, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Are you familiar with the phrase academic dishonesty?
There it is.
Yes, I am.
Well, that was in the beginning, right?
No.
No, oh, that was towards the end. That's right. I think he moves on at this point, right?
Let's talk about your work on this case. In October of 2020,
Okay, so that's it. He moves on. Correct, Ed. This was difficult to watch a third time, but at the same time, it's brilliance on behalf of the defense. I mean, they did their homework. They are always ready. They're always looking at, because look, right from the gate, Judge Bev, as you call her, Lifeguard Bev, said, no, you can't bring in your expert witnesses. You're going to have to go with what the Commonwealth has, and you could cross-examine them. It's backfired big time.
He tainted himself. He tainted the company, and he's going to taint the doctor that's coming up next to testify. Okay, so Brendan made a huge mistake here. Huge. Okay.
Let's go to the super chats real quick because I want to get to them. Glam Suze sends in a 5 and she says, an expert does not do a job or additional research unless expressly authorized to do so. Commonwealth has not paid one dime to Aperture as of 3 p.m. today. But like you said, Ed, you bill at the end of your testimony.
It depends on the contract, the way the contract is
Right.
built.
Was he taken on as a private contractor or straight through his company? I believe through the comp. Through his
All right.
company.
I think he was hired. He was assigned this through Aperture.
Through his company, yeah. Amy, thank you for the 10. All contractors, consultant work with the go. Okay. The required background checks, which is Aperture's responsibility, and they violated their credentials as a company. They need to be investigated.
Well, I know exactly what you're saying there. Every year I have to go through a background check with the federal government for my federal contracts. Okay. You know, there was no quality assurance, quality control, HR at this company. And I believe this company has assets in different states. It's not just Texas. Okay.
Yeah, no, multiple states. I think they talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So April B, thank you for being a member for 31 months. She says, thank you both for always calling out the BS. Listen, as Ed says, we call the balls and strikes here, and that's this is part of it right here. Glam, thank you for gifting the 5. Schmitty throwing a pocketbook at us, $5.
Hope you're safe.
I'm seeing more often people think of their profession as a job. There's a difference. It's sad as hell. Where is the passion? Where is the pride? Look, this is deceiving. This is deceiving the people who are looking at his profile, deceiving the public. How many trials has this guy testified at? I would like someone to look into how many times he's testified and what cases they are and what was the result of them.
Kel Bell, thanks for the $5. Why wasn't his report peer reviewed or checked by a supervisor? Exactly. He said he did it on his own and he had nobody review. No quality assurance, no quality control here.
Oh, it sounds like Sergeant Buchanan, that he just didn't check any of his subordinates' reports, any of their work, and a sergeant is there to supervise.
I wonder if he's covered by the company's errors and omissions insurance, or as a consultant, does he have to carry his own?
Right. Sort of like
I could see a bunch of lawsuits heading his way.
Oh, 100%. Kathy, thank you for the 5 memberships. Thank you for gifting. Kathy Hurley, thank you. Sharon Leventhal, thank you for the 2. Bobby Scissorhands performing a takedown. Beauty. Yeah. Sparky, thank you for becoming a member. Emily, thank you for the 5. Can the federal government stop this BS of a trial, or are they going to give them the rope to further condemn themselves? They're not going to stop. They're not going to step in. The Fixer, thank you for becoming a member. I like that screen name. Reality Check sends in a 2. EBD, thought Brendan and not Alesse hitting the mic. No, it definitely was Alesse, because I saw him. I saw him touching it with his hands in the beginning. And
he was at the podium when he was questioning him.
Right. And he was moving his hands around and you could hear the papers.
And it's a little tiny mic right in the front of the podium.
Clearly it was him. Shelley, thank you for the $7.99. What is that? Aussie? Is that Australian, Ed?
It's an A.
I think it may be. Would he have to pay back all the court appearance fees he's been paid? I don't think so. I think he may get fired. That is something that I could say that I believe strongly that they're going to sever ties immediately with him if they haven't already. Schmitty again with 5, not sure why, but I'd rather see the Korean Peninsula on Gorbachev's head than the goatee on the student's head. Listen, I want to just say something. I see, and thank you again for supporting always, and I hope you're going to be safe, but I'm going to take this off because I really don't like, this guy's already being totally ripped apart here. I actually worry for him, for his mental health, for his state of mind right now.
Exactly.
It's right to, I highlighted that super chat. Schmitty been here a long time, but I completely disagree with anybody that goes at this guy for his looks. Yes, I was talking about, that he has a skin condition. It's apparent. I did make a comparison to Gorbachev, but I don't really think people should just jump on a pile and just continue to attack this guy's
No, I was sincere when I said I was worried about his health, because it looked like his blood pressure was going way up, and his face got so flushed so fast.
Right. Yep. Thank you, The Fixer, for a super chat from a real, I read this before, from a real UAB grad. Thank you for speaking truths. Yai Keeper, thank you for 5. Was Jen 0.1% more credible than this expert witness? Yeah. Aurora, thank you for the 2 at The Fixer. Roll Tide from a UA alum. Emrez, thank you for the super chat. Today's my birthday. Spent the day watching this. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You'll only turn 21 once, so happy 21st birthday.
And the rest are anniversaries.
There you go. Clara D, thank you for the 199. It matters. Same as reviewing a physician's CV.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, curriculum vitae is Latin, and it's an expanded resume for professionals.
Thank you, Ed. There was a lot of people talking about that in the chat. Thank you for the 5, Tamara. His CV on the Aperture's website now says not for expert designation across it. Aperture wasted no time. So there you go. I'm going to go and pull it up as soon as I'm done with this. This is the last one, I think. K Music Taylor, always good to see you. Thanks for the 5. I fear jury has heard witnesses repeat they heard her say, I hit him. Within 4 days, the media was saying she hit him. Ugh. The media, right? EKG, thank you for the 5. Make me a bird so I can fly.
Far, far away. Make me a bird. Johnny.
AKA Brennan and Lally. Schmitty again with 2. F, huge hail. I may lose you. All right, so this is her going down to the fallout shelter in the basement. Rosemary, thank you for the 10. Thanks for your coverage. Well, thank you, Rosemary J.
Franny, what's not true?
Thank you for the 5. Cosgrove, it could be anybody. Aperture is a Timu for Arc. The Fixer is coming back in again with 2. Not qualified expert, could be bought. Not a qualified expert, could be bought. Hey, anything's possible here. Texas RN, thank you for being here, and thank you for the 2. Will he have a job by week's end? I don't think he's going to have a job by tomorrow, to be honest with you, but I don't know. Glow, thank you for the 5. This is so sad. Karen Reed can be any one of us. Ed, we say it all the time. We hear our friend Melanie Little. She says it every day, every time she goes live. It's true. Beautiful Messy Ball. Thank you for member of 2 months. Aperture already updated. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Texas RN, again with 2. I bet he's not sleeping well tonight. I'm probably not going to sleep well from watching. MK Connecticut, thank you for being here. $2. This is bad. As Ed said, could have been avoided. Charisma. This is what real mob attorney looks like in real life. This clown circus shit show has me losing my faith in our justice system. Thank you for all you do. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Anita, thank you for the 5. I think was worried he was going to have a medical issue. Yeah. That's the last one, Ed. Let's go to the chat. Hashtag Ed, hashtag DutyRon, and we'll wrap it up. Hour and 45. We'll wrap it up before 2. Ed, scan the chat. I'm going to go to Aperture's website so we could look at it together.
So, all right. Fran, I didn't see you respond, but the Latin translation for curriculum vitae is course of life. But it's just an expanded resume that we professionals use. List all our training, experience, certifications, licenses, and so forth. And in giving testimony as an expert, it's required to hand over to the attorneys and the judge.
Okay. Where do we go? To the experts?
Where do we go from here?
Here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
Education, hit that button and expand it.
Whoa. holy shiitake mushrooms.
It's still there.
Let me make it big. That's what she said.
Oh, easy there. Easy.
Hold on, Ed. Where is that button?
Stop breathing down my neck.
It's still there. Hey, some of the people said that there was a big I don't see what they were saying. There it is.
But it doesn't list the college, doesn't list the year. Look on the CV.
Countdown. 1, 10.
I don't think that's the CV, but good.
I just want to see. Okay. Yeah. All right. Private investigator. Crash data retrieval. Hold on. No.
Where's the CV hyperlink? They took it down, right?
It's gone.
There's LinkedIn. Oh, there's CV. CV to the right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is.
Not for expert designation.
Oofa.
But there it is there, right there on the top. Education. BGS, Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business, University of Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, 2022.
Shut the front door. Wow. What does that mean? We'll go to his LinkedIn. There's a link here.
Go back, yeah, to the main page, and then there's a link. There it is.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
This profile may be private now.
Yeah. I can't get to it. Hold on. I think I saved it here. Look on my phone.
Hey, we can't use 86. You'll get in trouble, and the Secret Service will start visiting you.
That's true. All right, here we go. Ooh. It's not there anymore, his LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
LinkedIn was like, why is all these people visiting this profile?
There's another guy there. He used to show 2 of these. Oh, he's not there. It's gone. He took it down. Sorry, something went wrong. His LinkedIn is down. But I showed you guys pictures of it. Does anybody know? Can anybody double check me if his LinkedIn is up or down? I think it's down.
Yes, the Commonwealth was using him as an expert in digital forensics for cell phones and vehicles.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Ooh. I'll talk to you about this offline. So about one of our friends. I want to read this post to you. All right. So again, another disappointment as it pertains to justice, because who suffers with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we ever going to get to the truth here? Or will we ever really know who murdered police officer John O'Keefe? And that's, I mean, I don't just keep saying it just to say it, but for God's sake, are we going to ever know?
Truth and justice, that's what we're here for, and you support the victims. Are they going to get the justice that we as a society owe them? Okay. And we as a society should demand.
Victim in this case, the Braintree native.
I agree 100%. Listen, I want to show this because, again, it's about police officer John O'Keefe, and one of the local stations, they pay tribute to him on every one of their broadcasts. So
was a Boston police officer who became the legal guardian of his niece and nephew after the children lost both of their parents to illness. You're watching Canton Confidential, the Karen Reed murder trial. Keefe, the victim in this case, the Braintree native, was a Boston police officer who became the legal guardian of his niece and nephew after.
So there it is. Police officer John O'Keefe. He's the victim here, and Karen Reed is on trial. Let's blame the girl, as we heard in text messages back and forth from Trooper, disgraced, fired Trooper Michael Proctor. Ed, I know you always got something to say at the end of these things, and listen, can you just sum up what we witnessed here as it pertains to expert testimony and what we're supposed to be seeing as opposed to what we did see here today?
Yeah, what we saw is the shameful display of a quote unquote alleged forensic expert who now adds more fuel to the fire for people to distrust forensic experts and distrust the criminal justice system. And that's what we saw here. And it's very painful for those of us who practice forensics to see something like this occurring. And then knowing that, you know, we will have to deal with the ramifications of this going forward and try to regain the trust of the people that we are in fact professionals here to serve our communities and provide unbiased, with integrity and ethics, forensics to serve our criminal justice system. And on behalf of all us forensic practitioners, I'm sorry. But that said, I want to thank you all for being here for this last hour and a half, almost 2 hours, right? 2 hours?
Yeah, almost
2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. We know you can get your true crime fix anywhere on the internet that you like. We're proud that you come here to us and spend your 2 hours with us. We thank you for that. We thank you for spreading the word about us. And always, folks, be safe, stay prepared, and watch your six.
Amen to that, brother. And thank you. And I want to thank all the replay viewers, the moderators, the live chatters, and the folks who super chat us, send us cups of coffee. It happens all the time, overnight and during the day. I want to thank folks who also support us on Patreon and also support us with the channel memberships. You guys know that we value you and we do not take it for granted. You're, like Ed said, you could get your true crime fix anywhere on YouTube, and we are honored that you are here, because without our live audience and our replay viewers and our engagement with you guys, we have nothing. So it's about us communicating back and forth with you, and we appreciate you. Our good friend Mike King's in the chat, and he said, "Good job tonight, fellas. Most disappointing day of the trial for me personally." Amen to that, Mike. There's been many disappointing days for us as it pertains to this trial, but we thank you and always appreciate you being here, Mike. With that said, again, let's keep in the forefront Police Officer John O'Keefe. He's the one who lost his life. He was murdered on that fateful night at 34 Fairview, and we still don't know exactly what happened to him. The science doesn't lie, and I stick by that, and I know you do too, Ed. So we want to say thank you for being here. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Peace and love from Ed Wallace and DutyRon. Crime Time.